Hi, I'm Mark Steinbrück with OurChurch.com, and on this video I want to talk about one of the questions I often hear from people within an organization that want a new website. It's, our website is awful, how do I convince the decision makers that we need a new website? So we're going to talk about some of the things that you can do to help the decision makers see that a new website is needed. So for starters, get multiple people to voice this opinion. If there's only one or two of you that are going to the decision makers and saying we need a new website, oftentimes it's not going to be listened to or taken seriously. If you have a lot of people from all different parts of the organization that are making this suggestion that we need a new website, then typically it's going to be something that is brought to their attention more, and they're going to pay more attention to it. Explain that a website is a form of marketing. If you're a church, if you're a school, a business, or a ministry, you're trying to get more people involved or be a part of your organization. Most of the time, this means that it will bring in more money to the organization. And even though ministries and churches typically don't like to think of the financial impact as far as the reason that we do something is to bring more money in. However, the ironic thing is that that is typically the determining factor on whether an initiative is taken or not, is what is the cost going to be. So it's important to understand that a website's a form of marketing and it's an investment. So if you're bringing in more money than you're spending on it, it's a good investment. The next thing is to make it simple. Basically, you want to make things as simple as possible for the decision makers. Make the process simple, and the easier it is for the decision makers to go through the process of learning and understanding the benefits of the website, the easier it's going to be to convince them that it's something that the organization should do. Get them involved and create ownership. Now, this may seem contrary to the last bullet point in making it simple. However, there needs to be a balance between keeping things simple and having the decision makers get skin in the game. If they're more involved in the process, they'll be less likely to shoot down the idea of a website and more likely to embrace it. And then lastly, have a plan with a final decision deadline. If there are not deadlines that are set, typically things just don't get done. Schedule regular meetings when the website will be discussed. This could be weekly, this could be monthly, but get something on the calendar to schedule something on the calendar to discuss the website. If the approach is just whenever it happens, we'll talk about it, it will never get done. And I've seen that happen many times, that organizations go on 6 months, 12 months, or even longer because they just don't schedule regular meetings to discuss the website. And then establish a final deadline when the decision will be made. And the decision might be that we're not going to do it right now, and that's okay. But establish a deadline to when the final decision will be made on whether to get a website or not. So I hope that this has been helpful, talking about the things that you need to do to convince decision makers that you need a new website. Get multiple people to voice the opinion. Explain that a website's a form of marketing and that's an investment and not an expense. Make it simple. Get them involved and create ownership, and then have a plan with a final decision deadline. So I hope this has been helpful in your process of developing a website or getting a website for your organization. If there's anything that we can do here at OurChurch.com to help you achieve your mission and your goals online, please email us at support@OurChurch.com.